Battle Through the Heavens, Episode 195. Xun'er willingly gives herself to unite with Xiao Yan, allowing him to refine the Purifying Lotus Demon Flame. Meanwhile, the Hall of Souls and the Sky Mansion Alliance go to war. As the remnant soul of the Purifying Lotus Demon Saint suddenly possesses Xiao Yan, the Purifying Lotus Demon Flame is instantly terrified. Even the control over the refining heaven ancient formation is seized by the Demon Saint. Immediately after, the Demon Saint opens the sealed space to let everyone flee for their lives. Only Xun'er chooses to stay behind and accompany Xiao Yan. This moment, this special space is completely enveloped by the milky-white demonic flame. The terrifying extreme heat makes it impossible for even 4- or 5-star Dou Shengs to linger. Even the Dou Qi within cultivators' bodies can be directly ignited. Suspended in midair, Xun'er barely holds on by relying on the Gold Emperor incinerating heavenly flame for protection. Even so, the intense heat forces her to sweat profusely. Her gaze remains firmly locked on the core of the Sea of Fire, that eerie fire lotus repeatedly shifting between dark red and milky white, and beneath it Xiao Yan possessed by the phantom of the Purifying Lotus Demon Saint. The rotating fire lotus finally settles into a milky-white hue covered in blood-colored veins. The red patterns on its petals resemble human blood vessels, giving the beautiful lotus a sinister and eerie aura. The Demon Saint's phantom sighs lightly at the fire lotus. It was he who, back then, bestowed sentience upon this flame that was as pure as a newborn infant, granting it human thought. Yet it ultimately walked down a path of brutality, completely contrary to his expectations. Purifying Lotus Demon Flame furiously retorts, arguing that its growth shouldn't be interfered with by others. The Demon Saint frankly admits he doesn't want to watch it head towards self-destruction. Since he caused this disaster, he should be the one to personally end it. He then activates the refining heaven ancient formation, condensing the dual-layered grand array that envelopes the heavens and earth into a prison of fire pillars, tightly locking the demonic lotus in place. He intends to entirely strip away the memories and sentience he gave it back then, returning it to its original purity. Purifying Lotus Demon Flame erupts madly, using blood-red flames to batter the prison, warping the fire curtain violently. However, as the outer structure of this ancient formation, which has absorbed thousands of years of energy, collapses, the core prison only grows more solid. The Demon Saint activates the power of stripping. Countless fine threads of fire embed deeply into the demonic lotus, weaving into a net that forces the blood-red mist, representing its memories and violent consciousness, out of its main body bit by bit. The demon flame lets out miserable shrieks, angrily cursing that the Demon Saint's actions are no different from killing it outright. But no matter how much power it unleashes, it cannot break through the fire curtain's seal. Finally, the blood-red humanoid figure carrying its consciousness is completely forced out of the lotus body and trapped within a rapidly shrinking 10-foot-wide fire prison. Separated from its main body, the demonic flame's power is less than a tenth of its original strength, making it completely incapable of contending with the Demon Saint. It immediately kneels and begs incessantly for mercy. Yet, turning its head, it takes advantage of a moment of tenderness from the Demon Saint to erupt in a full-body blood mist for a counterattack. A faint sadness is all that remains on the Demon Saint's face. In the end, he chooses to trigger all the remaining power of the Grand Array, completely annihilating both the demonic flame's consciousness and his own remnant soul in an apocalyptic explosion. Xiao Yan immediately grabs Xun'er and retreats rapidly to dodge the storm. When the violent energy dissipates and the two return to the core of the explosion, they only see an empty expanse of heaven and earth. Both the Demon Saint and the Demon Flame's consciousnesses have vanished without a trace. Just as Xiao Yan is filled with reluctance, fearing that more than a dozen years of preparation and 3 years of waiting might have been in vain, Xun'er suddenly points to the magma sea below. Following her direction, Xiao Yan's heart instantly begins to race wildly. Above the boundless magma, a milky-white fire lotus with faint pink veins floats quietly, with all the energy of the entire sea continuously converging toward it. This is exactly the original essence of the Purifying Lotus Demon Flame, stripped of all its violent consciousness and as pure as a newborn baby. Xiao Yan trembles with excitement. The demonic flame now lacks its former ferocity, meaning he no longer needs to worry about suffering a backlash during the refinement process. Moreover, its spirituality remains entirely intact. It has merely been purged of all negative obsessions and past memories, returning to the perfectly pure state of its birth. This moment, Xun'er notices that the spatial passage created by the Demon Saint has completely dissipated. With their strength as two-star Dou Shengs, it's utterly impossible to tear through the spatial barrier that still bears residual seals. Xiao Yan immediately decides to refine the Purifying Lotus Demon Flame right here in this absolutely safe space. He explains that there is no other way. If they take the demonic flame's essence outside, it will inevitably draw the covetous eyes of countless people. Even if they hide in the Gu clan, it will bring massive trouble to the Sky Mansion Alliance. On the contrary, this demonic flame space was personally created by the Demon Saint. Even Xun'er's father probably couldn't easily break in. This is the safest place. Only here can he focus entirely on refining the demonic flame without any distractions. Furthermore, if they don't emerge for a long time, the outside world will just assume they met with an accident, saving them countless troubles. He and Xian share a dragon seal connection, so there's no need to worry about Yao Lao and the others being too anxious. Xun'er ponders for a moment and nods. She knows very well that Xiao Yan is speaking the truth. Countless eyes in the Central Plains are currently watching this place. People knew they had obtained the demonic flame's essence. Even with the Gu clan's deterrence, greedy individuals would definitely take the risk. Not to mention the Hun clan, eyeing them like hungry tigers. If that happens, they wouldn't have the chance to refine it in peace. She then softly asks Xiao Yan when he plans to start. Xiao Yan smiles and shakes his head, saying there's no rush right now. Refining the demonic flame is no small matter. He must make foolproof preparations, otherwise it's truly hard to say who will end up refining whom. His eyes remain fixed on the fire lotus, filled with burning passion. This is the goal he has pursued for over a decade, and he cannot afford the slightest mistake. Beside the demonic flame space, the originally distorted space has completely smoothed out. The high temperatures enveloping the area gradually dissipate, and the magma desert below slowly solidifies into white rock. Countless figures hover in midair, their eyes staring fixedly at that area with deep unwillingness. Ever since the passage dissipated, they lost all connection with the inside. No matter what methods they try, the entrance cannot be opened. 7 days pass in a flash. The space remains completely devoid of any activity. Many people, thoroughly disappointed, begin to leave one after another. Old ancestor Huiyun's face is grave, and Gu Nanhai is full of anxiety. Xun'er holds an extraordinary status in the Gu clan. Failing to bring her back this time means he doesn't know how heavy a punishment he will face upon returning. Gu Qingyang softly comforts him from the side. Ziyan also arrives and tries, but simply cannot locate the space's coordinates. Fortunately, the dragon seal on her palm remains intact, proving Xiao Yan is safe, which allows Gu Nanhai to relax slightly. Eventually, he helplessly decides to return to the Gu clan first to report the situation. Yao Lao promises to send people to guard the area constantly and immediately send word to the Gu clan if there's any movement. Through expressing his thanks, Gu Nanhai takes a deep look at the space before turning and leaving with Gu Qingyang. Not far away, the few individuals from the Hall of Souls still haven't left. Old man Hun Mo's eyes flicker, stating they will stay a few more days to see what tricks those two juniors can pull off. The other three also nod in agreement. While the crowds outside are burning with anxiety, inside the demonic flame space, Xiao Yan, who spent 7 days making all his preparations, slowly opens his eyes. He is finally about to begin refining the Purifying Lotus Demon Flame. He has waited over a decade for this day. Hovering in midair, Xun'er slowly opens her eyes, looks at Xiao Yan standing up beside her, and softly asks if he is ready. Xiao Yan nods and looks up at the grand array formed by fine fire threads interwoven above, explaining it to a puzzled Xun'er. This is the cold grand array he set up in advance. The chill seeping out from the array is not ordinary cold mist, but a special extreme cold derived when temperatures rise to an absolute peak. While it cannot compare to the Purifying Lotus Demon Saint's formation, it can exert a certain suppressive effect on the demon flame. Hearing this, Xun'er nods in understanding. Xiao Yan instructs Xun'er to guard him, then solemnly casts his gaze down at the Purifying Lotus Demon Flame. He knows full well the risks of refining the third-ranked heavenly flame. A single misstep will reduce him to ashes. As the hand seals change, the grand array above rotates rapidly. A dense chill comes crashing down, precisely enveloping the area where the demon fire lotus sits. The surrounding magma instantly freezes into ice, and even the petals of the fire lotus are covered in a thin layer of frost. Seeing the array take effect, Xiao Yan breathes a slight sigh of relief. He then takes out a jade bottle and pours the pale red liquid inside, known as drunken demon saliva, onto the demon fire lotus. This medicinal liquid has an incredibly strong paralyzing effect. He doesn't expect it to completely drug the demonic flame. He only hopes it will induce a sluggish state, further weakening its power and increasing the success rate of refinement. After the liquid enters its body, the fire lotus's petals slowly stretch out, and indeed it exudes a somewhat lethargic aura. Though the current Purifying Lotus Demon Flame still retains spirituality, it lacks mature, independent intellect and is completely unable to counter these methods. This is the perfect time for Xiao Yan to strike. Having done this, Xiao Yan still does not stop. He takes out a 9-yin yellow spring pill radiating bone-piercing cold mist and flicks it toward the demon fire lotus. The moment the pill touches the demonic flame, it rapidly melts. Layers of ice continuously form on the surface of the fire lotus, only to be constantly evaporated by the intense heat. White mist rises endlessly, and the demonic flame's temperature is continuously drained during this process. With all preparations complete, Xiao Yan takes a deep breath, nods to Xun'er, and then, with a flash of his figure, appears right in front of the demon fire lotus. The center of the lotus at this moment, a cluster of pink flames sits coiled like a newborn baby. This is exactly the essence of the Purifying Lotus Demon Flame. Despite its tiny volume, even a 6-star Dou Sheng powerhouse would highly likely be burned to ashes if they carelessly let it enter their body. Xiao Yan stares passionately at this cluster of demonic flame essence. He pushes the merged flame in his body, a fusion of 5 heavenly flames, to its limit. Yet the fused flame, normally so formidable, now trembles under the pressure of the Purifying Lotus Demon Flame, its color even dimming significantly. But he doesn't retreat a single step. Under Xun'er's nervous gaze, he slowly extends a trembling hand, reaching through the fire lotus to grab that cluster of pink flame. The moment his palm touches the fire, the seemingly tiny flame instantly explodes in size. The roaring inferno directly engulfs Xiao Yan's entire body, and an apocalyptic, terrifying heat abruptly erupts. Seeing this, Xun'er turns pale with fright, standing up hurriedly and staring nervously at the ball of fire. Within the flames, Xiao Yan's face is twisted out of shape by the piercing, agonizing burns. He tries with all his might to command the heavenly flames within his body to resist the extreme heat. Even having made foolproof preparations the moment he makes contact, he experiences just how terrifying the third-ranked heavenly flame on the leaderboard truly is. Blood constantly seeps from all his pores, immediately coagulating into blood scabs. His hair is instantly burned cleanly away. Yet, driven by sheer obsession under Xun'er's shocked gaze, he grabs the demonic flame essence and shoves it directly into his mouth, swallowing it forcefully into his body. The moment the demonic flame essence enters his body, Xiao Yan's clothes turn to ash in an instant. His surface skin rapidly melts away, and even the tough ancient dragon phoenix armor inside his body is burned until it loses its luster. Roaring with bloodshot eyes, he circulates the flame mantra, trying to refine this terrifying power. But the demonic flame essence struggles violently. Terrifying heat instantly incinerates many of his fragile meridians, and even his bones begin to show signs of softening. Sighed, Xun'er watches Xiao Yan's body shrink by almost half amidst his agonized roars. Her heart aches so deeply that she bites her red lips hard, blood continuously dripping down the corner of her mouth. She knows too well, outsiders only see Xiao Yan's astonishing cultivation speed, but no one knows the near-death price he pays for every step forward. Seeing his body growing more ruined by the second, knowing he will certainly die if this drags on, Xun'er wipes the tears from her eyes. She summons the Gold Emperor incinerating heavenly flame and plunges into the pink fire enveloping Xiao Yan. Seeing Xun'er rush in, Xiao Yan instantly regains a bit of clarity. Eyes widening until they nearly tear, he tries to shout at her to stop, but Xun'er tightly wraps herself around his body, whispering that only by combining their strength can they refine this power. These words completely ignite Xiao Yan's will. Two merge in the most compatible posture. The golden Gold Emperor incinerating heavenly flame intertwines with the purplish-brown merged flame, finally withstanding the demonic flame's pervasive erosion. With Xun'er sharing the burden, Xiao Yan's condition instantly improves. His body, which had been on the verge of collapse, slowly repairs itself relying on the undying power of the 3,000 burning flame. The boundless, vast energy of the demonic flame is also gradually brought under control as they absorb it together. As time passes, a ring of fire forms around them, intertwining three colors, gold, purplish-brown, and pink, representing the stalemate of the three heavenly flames. Initially, the pink flame holds absolute dominance. However, as time flows on, the other two flames continuously nibble away at it, until eventually a perfect balance is achieved among the three. The moment that balance is struck, Xiao Yan slowly opens his eyes and utters a low command, activating the flame mantra. Purifying Lotus Demon Flame, having already blended with his heavenly flames, finally begins to be refined along the flame mantra's circulation path. Layers of energy thunderclouds instantly surge in the sky above, and monstrous waves roar across the magma sea below. Looking at Xun'er, who is sleeping soundly in his arms, a gentle smile appears on Xiao Yan's face. As the first wisp of the demonic flame's essence is refined, energy as vast as a flood instantly surges through his entire body. At the same time, he passes this pure energy on to Xun'er. A perfect energy cycle forms between them, and their auras steadily climb in the process. Ultimately, the demonic flame essence completely loses its ability to resist. The fire wrapping around them gradually subsides, and a pink, faintly glowing crystalline layer encases the two, forming a crystal egg. Their auras become completely hidden within this space. A year passes in the blink of an eye. The winds of change sweep across the central plains. During this year, to avenge the destruction of the Hall of Man by the Sky Mansion Alliance, the Hall of Souls launches a massive invasion against the Alliance's cities. The Sky Mansion Alliance fights back with full force. Two sides battle fiercely for a year, both suffering casualties. The Sky Mansion Alliance, now boasting top-tier powerhouses like Ziyan and Shaoqin holding the fort, along with the ancestor of the Pill Tower as a hidden trump card, not only doesn't fall behind but faintly suppresses the Hall of Souls. Their prestige reaches its zenith, making them the faction in the Central Plains with the highest hope of replacing the Hall of Souls' dominance. Over this year, Yao Lao and the others never stop keeping an eye on the demonic flame space. Yet there is absolutely no movement from within. If not for the dragon seal in Ziyan's hand remaining perfectly intact, they probably would have assumed Xiao Yan and Xun'er had met their end. As time wears on, they can only redirect most of their energy toward the war with the Hall of Souls. Just as the eyes of the entire Central Plains are drawn to the great war between the Sky Mansion Alliance and the Hall of Souls, a world-shaking piece of news suddenly sweeps across the continent. Following the Ling clan, the Shi clan, also one of the 8 ancient clans, has bizarrely vanished in its entirety without a single trace. An unsettling, eerie gloom instantly envelopes the entire Central Plains.